So, what if we have it all wrong about Ike and Tina Turner? Rolling Stone did an article yesterday. I'm going to put this in here too, and I'm pissed as fuck about it. Because, listen, Rolling Stone, don't be dissing on us rappers. Don't be dissing on these rappers, man. You know what I'm saying? We rappers, those who is really recording tracks and putting them out, not just like saying we're a rapper. Don't be doing that, man. They had a whole article talking about, oh, Tina Turner was vulnerable with being a victim. The rap game turned it into a punchline. Bitch, that's what we do. That's that. Now listen, I'm almost positive Tina Turner was no angel. If there was a man of God in Hollywood, like a clearer example, and it's only because he's so B-level, and everything, there's not one thing he said that doesn't sort of like fall in line with the Bible. Like, if he only curse about people he really like have some type of feeling they did something wrong about or something. Like, and he tell it like it is. I like Judge Joe Brown. He's an interesting character to me. He remind me of my black probation officer I used to have, Holly Jackson. When I was on probation in Waterbury, he remind me of Holly Jackson a lot. I don't think that was Holly Jackson's real name. I think he just, because they knew he smoked a lot of weed, they thought it'd be funny giving that as a cover name. Felt so bad. You know, one time he called me off a block number just to make sure I was living at this one hotel. At the time, I had a lot of people calling my phones off block numbers for other reasons. So just seeing it's a block number, I pick up and start barking. He goes, Michael, calm down. What's going on? I said, oh, shit. I said, I'm sorry, Holly. Got a lot of people. And luckily it was Waterbury, so it's probably not the first time this has happened. But I felt so bad, and I apologized. I was like, I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that. That's the one thing I've always had working for me. People was always like, listen, when he really fuck up, he admit he fuck up. Like, that's the, like, plus side to it. That's what's helped me smooth a lot of shit over. But so anyways, listen to Judge Joe Brown talk about some Tina Turner. And I'm just listening to things he's saying. I'm like, you know what? I could see it. I could see it. Because listen, when someone's really guilty of some shit, and they're really a like conniving type person, like, okay, you gotta think about the type of character she played in Mad Max. That's how I think she really was. The easiest thing for like someone to act as is just like someone that they'd be like in real life. You feel what I'm saying? Like my little brother Trell, that's why that character was so easy for him. Because it was literally him just like trapping and doing the shit he do in normal life. So it's like anything like that's the easiest shit to do with acting. And with what Judge Joe Brown says, he's making accusations of loan sharking. Like, put it like this, what he says about the foundation, a lot of y'all might not pick up on why that's so fucked up unless you know the statistics behind domestic abuse and how common it is for the woman to go back to the man that was abusing her. Like, it's extremely common. It's more common than not. So, when he said that she was doing that, and that's why he had her in his courthouse, to me, that was disgusting. Like, and the woman who's talking, I didn't get it on the clip, because he started talking about something else at the same time. She, like, it set in, and she's like, oh, wow. Like, it took her a second to, like, realize how fucked that was. And she's like, oh, wow. Because I promise you, she probably like thought of the statistics and was like, holy. Because she didn't seem like a dumb woman who was interviewing him at all. So, it was just very interesting to me to watch. You know what I'm saying? It was very interesting to watch what Judge Joe Brown was saying. And I don't take him as a liar for anything. Like, he from my pop's generation. Them motherfuckers did not lie about nothing. Liars didn't exist in that generation. They didn't survive. You feel what I'm saying? Like, That's why the ones that's still around, trust me, them motherfuckers probably never lied a day in their life. I know about well, listen. My pops lie about little things, or he lie about shit related to his job. Because he kind of has to. But, other than that, he don't, you know what I'm saying? In terms of, like, shit that, like, really relate to him, he not lie. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of shit that he had to lie about with his job for years, like, conditioned him to just, like, but, like, when I put the facts on the table, like, for example, one time I was asking about MK Ultra. He was telling me that shit don't exist. I showed him a Wikipedia article. Like, basically saying this shit really did happen. Like, he goes, listen, Alex, there's a lot of things we were doing back in those days. It was not cool. Like, we're just trying to beat the Soviets. That's his answer to, like, we're just trying to beat the Soviets. So, yeah, like, it was very strange to me to watch. It's very, very strange to me to watch. And, when I see all this shit, like, I really wouldn't put it past her. And when keep in mind, I never really watched video of Ike Turner or nothing like that till yesterday. And I started realizing, I'm like, he seemed like a pretty logical, put together. Like, he don't seem like the type to just, okay, there's like a little bit of a Kanye aspect to him. Where because Tina Turner says the artist, maybe he went to some like crazy levels at times. But it seems like the fact she made a whole movie with Lawrence Fishburne, where Lawrence Fishburne said he felt uncomfortable about her input of what she wanted him to do in the film, of what she wanted to recreate in the film, and she's not even directing the shit. It's a little strange to me. She has a weird personality with people where it seems like she likes seeing people get hurt. Anyway.
Judge, I didn't know they were going to do that to me when I signed that release. I wasn't like that. I said, brother, I know. I was one of those boys in L.A. that you talked to from the 5th grade all the way through high school. You had stopped. Man, you must have stopped 7 or 8 times. Me and my homeboys were out there, you know, playing touch football or something, or tackle football in the park, or just hanging out. You were telling us what time it was. You remember that? Yes, sir. How old are you? When I told him, he said, oh, yeah, you would. I thought you were younger than that. I said, man, we thank you. And you know what he was in my court for? He and his wife had a foundation, and it was for battered women. And what they did was they would give these women money to get away from the abusive man. If they went back to him, it wasn't a gift, it was a loan. Ike and Tina Turner lived up in Baldwin Hills, and he was down on his knees gardening with a trowel. And he got up, took his gloves off, dusted his hands off, came over, shook our hands, talked to us, asked us how the football team was doing since we all played ball for Dorsey High, told us to hang in there. You know, he had kept up with everything, went back over. Tina comes storming out about 20 minutes later, cussing and hollering about why didn't he have these lyrics together? And he was trying to tell her he was trying to think it through, which was what he was trying to do then. She got to cussing. He got to asking her, would you please stop that? There's some kids listening. She cussed us out, walked to the edge of the property, hands on hips, started yelling all kinds of foul crap at us, walked back in. About 15 minutes later, she came out mad again about, I'm not waiting on you coming up with these goddamn except for lyrics.
So yeah, the end of that story is she hit him twice, I guess. One time as hard as he could with the handle end of the rake. Like she was holding the rake by the rake end and hit him with the handle like twice. And like the first time he like literally he was gardening as he said, and he like dropped like chest on the floor, forearm like fell out from it. Like, you gotta remember, like Ike was a bit older than Tina. Ike's first hit came out when my dad was 3 years old. Ike Turner's, my dad's like 75 years old. 75 years old, yeah. He just turned 75 last month. Ike Turner's first hit came out when my pops was 3 years old. I didn't know this till yesterday. He's often credited with inventing rock and roll with this one song, Rocket 88. I see why. But at the same time, there's a bunch of people like Chuck Berry, whole bunch of other people doing exactly the same shit basically at the same time. It's sort of like with the first big wave of punk music, right? In the 70s. Like, okay, it's real easy to like credit Iggy Pop as the godfather of punk because he was around so long before anything else. But then when they first had a word for what it was and shit, which is like 10 years later, like the Clash, the Sex was like a whole bunch of them bands want to be credited as like the first like mainstream punk shit. Like once punk was punk, like anyways. So that's just a little bit of what it was right there. Now if you notice, Judge Joe Brown speaks on how Ike didn't like her cussing in front of kids. And I seem to take like the big homie role around the hood that I be taking with a lot of these kids. And you know, it's just, that's one thing, but the not wanting her to cuss in front of them kids, that's a whole nother level. That's a level I ain't gonna hold you. It's a level I struggle with. Like that's really the only problem I have with kids. I curse a lot, and it's not my problem, man. It's like, put it like this. It is my problem, but it's not something it's so far gone, man. It's not something easily for me to fix. Like, I mean, of course, now my kid is like 2 years old. I mean, I'm really trying to like clamp down on fixing that. But at the same time, I know like he's gonna find my music at one point. You know, I can't live that double life. I'm a very strong preacher. If you're a musician, man, especially if you're a rapper, like you can't live that double life. It's just not, in this day and age with social media and all that, it's not possible. So, with all this shit he's saying about Ike and Tina, I don't take Joe Brown as a liar at all. Period. I just don't. It's not just because he's a judge. There's a lot of fucked up judges out there. But at the same time, like, he's one of the less, I'd say sensationalized TV judges. He don't got the punchlines and shit like Judge Judy be having. He give it to you how it is, plain as day and simple. He really probably the closest one to like a real judge in a real courthouse that there is. You feel what I'm saying? So, I mean, the way he just telling some of them motherfuckers like how it is. Like, bro, it remind me of the judge who sent me, Judge Meta Savage. It remind me of him. But I remember I kept balling out, and he was under the impression for whatever reason that like my parents was helping me, which like there was a couple times when I had a really high bond if they did. The majority of times I was going by my own means, so he thought he was being slick and locked me up in Whaley. I got on the phone with my wife, had her sell a computer real quick, and then I got right out. And he saw me in his courthouse not being brought in from the cells down in the bottom. And he looked at me like he seen a ghost. That shit was funny as hell, bro. But yeah, I just think I'm gonna do another video for the Rolling Stone shit because that shit pissed me off. But yeah, I don't think we should be trying to paint we shouldn't be trying to paint Ike in this weird narrative. I've always felt some weird type of way about it without really knowing much about it, other than it was a Bobby and Whitney type thing, which was something I've always been a little bit more like, because it was happening when I was growing up, more, I guess, knowledgeable of. But yeah, I don't think it's the way that people like to portray it. It's definitely not like that movie with Lawrence Fishburne portrayed it, man. I'm out this bitch.